Support your state trooper.
I'm Trooper Dave Levandusky of the Indiana State Police.
We had over 1,000 and, well, over 1,500 cars in the fleet. And I tried to keep track of all of them. But I think the thing I enjoyed the most were the rookies, getting the cars ready for the rookies. And then when they came to pick them up, that was always a lot of fun.
When did you start in that position? When did you start working with the cars?
In 1976.
1976. Do you remember what the commission was at that time?
Well, we had a certain block of numbers. They went from 2,500 to 5,000, I believe. And we just kept reusing the numbers as the older cars were decommissioned.
So what was the car of the day? What was a typical police car in 1976?
I think we had Dodges.
Ah.
Can't remember for sure, but I think they were Dodge.
Do you have any fond memories of those days?
There were always a lot of memorable moments when they would come to pick up their cars, especially when they were getting colored commissions, because we gave them the opportunity to pick out the colors that they wanted. And I would always ask what county license plate they would want, and I tried to get them the license plate that they wanted. We started months in advance because we would have to pull in cars for them. We would give new cars to troopers. We had a limit between mileage limit at the time that we wanted them to have cars, and we would call cars in with that mileage and give those troopers new cars, and then the reissues would go to the rookies. And one thing that I like to do, the cars always have their license registrations, but for the rookies, I made out new ones with their names on them. So when they received their first car, the registration had their name on it.
Did they have the tradition back then of lining up all the cars outside, driving them out all at once?
Well, I can't remember at the very beginning, but I know once the museum was here, we did it. And they would be in here in the museum to sign the paperwork, and they would get their car keys, and then they would go out and find their car. A lot of work had gone into it. They worked many, many hours to get the cars ready. And usually the day before, they'd go and have them all washed, so they would be clean for them. And they tried to have everything. And we made sure they had fire extinguishers and everything in them that they needed.
Not saying that you would ever be bribed, but what's some of the more wild extents that people try to go by to get on your good side?
I don't really think they did it to get a new car or a different car, but many of them were grateful enough that you'd be surprised how many flowers I got. And they were always very kind to me.
That's good.
Or some would come in with boxes of candy, or they'd just stop in to say hi, and that meant a lot.
Was there a trooper, Doug Carter? Did he ever buy you candy or flowers?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Is there anything else, any other stories we should remember throughout the history of logistics?
There were many. Of course, Karen Downey was our secretary, and Terry McWilliams was my immediate boss. And they all, and the people in the parts room and quartermaster, they all did their share to make sure everything went well.
It was kind of a family atmosphere.
Right.
And definitely we're feeling that again.
By far, it really, Doug Carter has made the department really special, like it used to be.